Hello everyone, this is Reem. If you know me from the mini Chan Discovery series, hi again. I'm back, still talking about indie games, but more critically this time. So here's the story. I was scrolling through itch.io for inspiration for this video, then I was knowing a game whose developer I admire so much used to have mostly AI generated assets. But what got me wasn't the AI itself. It's his choice to replace it even after any success. So today, we're not claiming whether AI is good or bad. Instead, we're exploring how ethical tension is reflected in indie game scene through the case study of Last Seen Online. So a little bit of background. Last Seen Online is a psychological horror flash game inspired escape room. You dig through files in a stranger's computer, solve puzzles, and slowly uncover their hidden secrets. So Henry, aka the developer, wrote like a whole blog post announcing this major update, and in which he also integrated personal stories leading to his decisions. And this blog will be our Henry representative for today. In the blog he wrote, "Before I was a programmer, I picked up the pencil and drew. I struggled, but I loved drawing. But I used AI art because it was easier than drawing it all by myself." So the stage here set is a deeply personal game made with a developer with artistic aspirations, but he chose AI for convenience. So when I say indie games, I mean games that are made with real independence, financial, creative, and publishing freedom. And with such freedom comes a struggle. You've got limited resources on the one side and your creative ideas on the other. And in indie games, creative ideas isn't just about flashy visuals, it's about authorship as a creative. And many indie devs avoid generating AI because of solid ethical concerns, and because AI art is often seen as cheap and low quality. And more focused on the art community, they see generative AI as a kind of cultural and creative extraction that drains artistic integrity. So the ethical tension here comes down to just one thing, like convenience or authenticity. Study shows how our values often collide when practical shortcuts run into moral or aesthetic standards. And to be moral or not to be moral marks the ethical tension in today's indie scene. So Henry himself clarified that he's not anti-AI in any way, but when Let's Seen Online unexpectedly went viral, Henry writes, "If this game was a display of all the skills I've developed, then I've chosen the cheap way out of a skill I've long suppressed." This goes to the core of our research question. The ethical tension starts internally, not audience backlash, but from the author himself. The struggle reflects a dual reality. While these tools enhance workload, they also raise concerns about originality, authorship, and ethical use of AI-generated content. Surprisingly, most players didn't notice that the ad sets were AI generated in the first place not until the announcement landed. And partly because his post-editing was so convincing that he could have just quietly go away with it, but he didn't. And he chose to expose himself before anyone could. Henry was so prepared for the consequences and how this change would take away from the player experience, but well, the players contradicted him. In the comments, many says that the update even enhanced the experience with the human touch added. A similar psychological pattern proposed that games, as a reflection of personal vision and artistic detail, highlights the intimate nature of game design, where even small creative choices can have a significant impact on the play experience. The thing I noticed is Henry wasn't scared of getting cancelled for using AI. The only thing he was scared of is like being disconnected from his own work. The indie scene may seem blurry, but they do have some very certain expectations. So they value authenticity and personal craft in their work. And by replacing the AI art, Henry wasn't saying, "No, I'm anti-AI now." He was rebuilding this intimacy between himself and his players. After the update, Last Seen Online became a fully self-crafted work, I'd say. And most importantly, he could finally take praise. take pride in the praises because it's all his work, all his love, his passion, his effort, his hard work on there now. And he also wrote that putting my drawings into my game is a love letter to all the artists who make fan art and to my past self. How beautiful. So in the end, Lassie Online reviews that the ethical tension around AI in the indie scene is how creators negotiate between convenience and authenticity. Henry's situation states that the indie game making is as much about personal values as it is about what is the tools used. And through his blog, Henry wasn't just archiving the evolution of the game, he was archiving his own growth as a creative. Hi again, this is Wee. Thank you for listening.